Welcome to episode 8 of the Michigan Outdoors podcast. As always, I'm Tyler Mihai along with Justin Tomei and Steve Wyndham. It is almost the end of the year, so we're going to do some year-end MUCC wrap-up. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and a video podcast on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you're not already, give us a follow on Instagram at Michigan Outdoors Pod and tag us in all your future hunting and fishing successes. And the Michigan Outdoors podcast is proud to partner with OnX Hunt. Join the millions of hunters who trust OnX Hunt to help them fill their freezers. Create hunt strategies for your property with custom waypoints, view wind forecasts for individual stand sites, integrate with cell cameras, and so much more. OnX is essential for hunters to understand property lines, find an eScout public land and other hunting spots, and all of the other tools to give yourself the best possible chance at a successful hunt. All current MUCC members are eligible for a 1-month free trial of OnX Elite and an additional 20% off your annual membership. New MUCC members will get a free 3-month trial of OnX Elite in their welcome email when signing up. To find your current membership discounts, log into your MUCC member portal and click on the membership discounts link to see all of the benefits of being an MUCC member. Join MUCC today to take advantage of these offers. All right, episode 8. How we doing, boys?
Doing good.
We have another partner we should talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
The Michigan Trapper and Predator Color Association.
Oh, yeah.
We ran into a couple of them this weekend, and our boring small conference room office that we're currently recording in is fixing to have a few more furs. I don't know when, but they said that they're going to hook us up with some stuff. So, and they're also suing the NRC for the NRC's illegal closure of the coyote season last year.
They're the partner in our suit.
Yes.
Yes.
So
what I'm hearing,
shout out trappers.
What I'm hearing is be on the lookout for new furs on the walls.
Some new decorations to
They
spice up.
go,
the
what do
studio.
you guys want? And I go, wolf. They go, we only got one.
We have a wolf.
Not a fur.
We have an
We're
actual
not going to
wolf.
set a
No,
wolf on the
We
table.
have a wolf fur.
Do we?
Yeah, from Skulls and Furs we take to the shows. We have a wolf pelt. We have bobcat. We've got a ton of pelts. You just got to ask Shannon if you can take them because they're for her kids.
I want a wolf.
We can get it. It's in the back.
I'd tag PETA, but they blocked me on Twitter.
MUCC can tag them.
they posted a picture of Thanksgiving dinner one day. Oh, this was a really
Did
good.
you see that? It was the person on the table.
That
and
one was like weirdly
Did
sexual.
you see the community
I know.
notes? Did
Yes.
you see the community notes on it?
No,
That
this was a
hilarious.
few years ago. So it was a good 24 hours. So first of all, the Witcher TV show came out that day. There was one of the Star Wars movies came out that day, and they blocked me on Twitter because they posted a picture, and it was like a turkey and all the Thanksgiving fixins and a ham, and it like had names and the faces of the animals on the kitchen table. It was like, would you still eat your dinner if you had to see its pretty face? And I tweeted them a picture back because I had a doe hanging in the garage. I said, yeah, I shot this one at night. We don't got no problem with that.
Nice.
And they blocked me. So yeah, I'm blocked by Twitter.
You know how much time they must spend blocking people on social? Like, that has to be someone's full-time job.
Have you ever seen their Twitter though?
No.
It's
It's
wild.
factually incorrect too.
Well,
'cause
no, but just that. Yes, also yes, but just the graphics they put up. Like they put some Thanksgiving ones up where people were like, they were carving a turkey, and the guy and the girl standing there carving the turkey are like, oh hell yeah, cut that turkey up. Like really
That's so weird.
weirdly sexual pictures. So PETA.
I love the one because this year when they put it up, it was the turkeys around the table and the person on the platter, like a dead skinned cooked person. And it said, well, what would you do if turkeys like could eat you? And the community notes was like, you do understand that turkeys are not vegetarians. They eat mice and lizards,
I
and
saw that
they
one
eat
too.
all kinds of things
Yeah.
that they eat other animals. And then I don't know what happened, but the community notes cracked me up. So
My favorite PETA ad is the billboard where it's like, where do you draw the line? And it's like a fish, a chicken, a cow, and it's all these animals that we eat. And then it goes like horse, cat, dog, person, and someone draws the line like right between the cow and the horse, and they're like, right about here.
yeah.
Well, no, there's a better one. It's like normal everyday meal here, like shit hit the fan situation here, and it includes like horse, cat, dogs. Anyways, PETA
Apocalypse.
sucks. Anti-hunting organizations generally do. This is not controversial.
At all. What's our opening monologue for
Yeah,
today's
so there we go.
podcast, so.
Completely unscripted.
No, but today will be a good episode. As Tyler said, we're going to run through some of the cool stuff we've done all year. It is the giving time of season. Hopefully everybody participated in Giving Tuesday a couple weeks ago, but it is still that time of year to give and support the mission of MUCC. And we're going to go through a couple of highlights of things that we've accomplished later in the episode to help you guys understand how much we're fighting for your rights to hunt, fish, trap, shoot, and recreate all year round. And not, if you don't want to be a member, at least throw some dollars our way so that we can continue
Very
to
professional.
do our mission. I didn't have it on silent. Sorry.
No shit.
All right, let's jump into policy.
Policy. That's me. Lame duck going on currently. By the time you hear this, there is a non-zero chance that they will have gone home for the year. They're scheduled to go until the end of next week, so until the 20th or 21st.
Friday the 20th. So
Yeah.
it'll be that Thursday.
So, well, no, Friday whatever Friday is, they would
20th.
probably come back and sine die. So they're scheduled to go until the end of next week. I've said it for a couple of years now. The Democrats really suck at their jobs, and I'm not making a political statement when I'm saying that. I'm saying that they suck at governing. They're really, really struggling to get all their members there in the House, which, if you don't remember, they have a 1-vote majority. So if one Democrat is out of town, they cannot do anything. And the Republicans are doing a very good job of not giving the Democrats things if they can't put 56 on it, whether the Republicans would support it or not. So
Let me ask you a question too, just out of my own general curiosity, and for those
Sure.
who don't know, when they're struggling to get people in, is that just getting them physically in
physically
person?
in the
Physically
building
in
and ready
Lansing.
to
So
vote.
it's
Yes.
not always necessarily they can't get 56 to agree on one thing. It is just physically.
It's both, but really the problem they're currently acutely having right now is physically getting their caucus in one place. They've had problems internally in caucus, but that's not necessarily unique. There's always those problems within the caucus, but no, they're physically not able to put 56 votes on the board. And until they put 56 Dem votes on the board, no Republicans are going to get on anything. So it's really, there's a non-zero chance that, and we'll know a lot more tomorrow from time of recording, that if they have 56 in town, then some stuff's probably going to happen. If they don't get 56 tomorrow, I don't see much point in them sticking around because they're not going to get anything done. The Senate may pass all the things they want, but if there's not 56 Democrats in the House, nothing's going to get
How
done.
many seats did the Republicans win?
I think they'll have 58 next year.
Okay.
So they'll have a little buffer, but the Democrats still hold the Senate. So we'll have divided government come January when they seat the new legislature.
So do you foresee stuff getting passed easier with 58 versus 56?
Yeah.
Then, like, is that a substantial
Yeah, because
number?
you have that 1 or 2 buffer zone. I mean, when the Democrats first took office, like one of the legislators had a kid, and they were having a very consequential vote, and he had to drive out like the day he had a kid because they needed him to pass the thing. That might have been a gun control bill. I don't remember exactly. So yeah, just having that 1 or 2 seat buffer is huge because you have to have 56 to pass. Like, it's not a majority of those present; it's a majority of those serving. So you have to have 56 votes to pass something in the House.
Yeah, but even next year, the roadblock will be in the Senate as the Dems still control that if the Republicans.
Well, I mean, the Republicans could be a roadblock just as much for our stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, conservation is bipartisan. So, there are some things that we want to do that the Republicans aren't going to like and some things that the Democrats aren't going to like. So, yeah, it's working within divided government is going to complicate things.
yeah, that's what I mean. Is that it's not going to be anything that we're going to be able to fly through.
No.
Because one side or the other controls either
Correct.
chamber.
So it's making it challenging as I draft our legislative priorities for next year. Because we had a big 3 this year of commercial guiding, commercial fishing modernization, and then kind of just a general defense of Proposal G, which I would say has been relatively successful this session. And then we passed commercial guiding legislation. So, spoiler alert, I think I'm going to elevate hunter safety in schools to take the place of commercial guiding next year. So that's something that currently has bipartisan support. I think it has 54 sponsors in the House, and it is bipartisanly sponsored in the Senate. So, like, that sort of stuff is going to be the stuff that we look at. But
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting dynamic. We have a good core of legislators that we work with that are able to get things done because, bluntly, there are some people in the legislature where if their name is on something, the bill's not going to go anywhere.
yeah.
So we have good people, but that's what's up with lame duck. We'll know a lot more tomorrow after recording. But I mean, there's a non-zero chance that by the time you hear this, they are done for the year. As far as what we're working on, defensive wise, it's gun control. My own personal speculation on this is it's not going to get as much gun control as maybe the legislature likes. And the reason why is the governor wants to run for president someday, and I don't think she wants to be burdened with much more gun control stuff. Voters have short memories, but I think if they keep doing it, it would negatively affect her chances if she made it to a general election. That is my own personal speculation. So gun control defense is the big one. There's a million bills.
Is there anything gun control that you're surprised by? Just you don't think
We talked about a little bit of it in the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything new?
There's some silly stuff that came out. There's a toy gun like imitation gun ban that was dropped, and it dictates like what a toy gun has to look like in order to be allowed to be sold or manufactured in the state. And it's like it has to be one of these number of colors or clear so you can see that it inside is not a gun, and it has to have the barrel blocked. So my read of it, I mean, I just skimmed it. It was one of those bills that I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But as I was skimming it, I read it as like, can't have a dart gun or a Nerf gun if it in any way. I mean, it's pretty vague, right?
Any projectile,
but if it any way like looks like a real gun, air quotes,
Yeah.
which is pretty subjective.
Is there any precedent for that? Like, does California have anything like that?
No, there's Nerf guns in California.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
No, I would say actually yes, there's precedent. New York State has some crazy laws where kids with like those gel blasters are getting arrested and confiscated.
Yes, but those have to like have like the orange tip on the end of it, and it has to be like very aware that it's not like, and that's why it's illegal to spray paint them black.
And that's
like
this
can't.
Bill is like the gun has to be pink, purple, orange, blah blah blah, and then have the last half inch.
What
of the
about
barrel
my
blocked
pink
off.
camo rifle then?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Steve, because there is another bill that I view as equally silly. And I will preface all of this with MUCC has a policy reinforced multiple times since JFK was shot. And I say that way because the first one, he was shot, 11/22/63. The first one's like early 64, and it specifically addresses the JFK shooting. So that's the way I phrase it like that. But to oppose any new gun control laws. So the other silly one that came out is the same senator wants to dictate what color your guns can be. And she wrote in the bill that it has to be like gray, black, dark green, brown, like 5 or 6 colors. And it has to be more than 50% those colors. Now, she benevolently does exempt any currently owned weapons. But
so the pearl teal Glock,
your Tiffany blue Glock.
my Tiffany blue Glock.
My wife's deer rifle.
Yeah.
My wife has that pink and white, whatever muddy girl camo deer rifle.
Yep.
That's a funny story in of itself.
That seems kind of a sexist bill, though. I mean, females are the main proprietor of colored firearms.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, but that's not very nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any actual hard data on that. But
anecdotally,
yeah.
I mean, that's who
I
they're
don't own
marketing
any
it
crazy
to.
color
That's who it
guns.
gets
My
marketed
sister has a Tiffany blue pistol. My wife has her pink deer rifle. I'm trying to think if I have any weird color guns. I don't think so. But yeah, so anyways, that's another silly one that I don't think is going to go anywhere.
I mean, that would comparatively put us pretty far at one end of the spectrum in terms of gun control, right? Because I can't
argue we already are.
Yeah.
I mean, 29 states have constitutional carry. That in of itself puts us in the minority.
Yeah.
In terms of gun control rules in this state. And
Michigan was the first state to receive reciprocity, though, with all shall issue states, though, wasn't it? A while ago. So, because our CPL is
CPL had pretty decent reciprocity across the country.
Yeah, for any of the shall issue states, I think it has reciprocity instead of may issue.
There's a couple states that get everybody. Like I think Arizona gets, you can go like basically anywhere with it. New Hampshire might be too. But yeah, so 20. I mean, yeah, Michigan's in the minority in terms of gun control that we already have. So, and yeah, so that's weird. That's all the gun control stuff. There's some other ones like prohibition on self-manufactured firearms is in there. Yeah, I don't know that the will is there to actually. They want to do so much other big stuff.
Also, since we last talked or recorded, the license restructuring did drop, right? The bill.
Yeah. So in terms of offense, in terms of what we're looking for,
by the time you hear this, it'll be past the voting, right?
I'm not convinced it'll get a vote.
Yeah.
So license bill dropped, license fee increase dropped. We've been alluding to it kind of in vagaries for a while. I want to say it's House Bill 6229. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. But yeah, something like that. License fee increase. There's 2 bills actually, and then there's a boating registration fee increase in there.
That's a big increase in that bill. Right.
In the license fee increase?
No, the boating registration thing.
Yeah, so the boating registration one's really interesting because they haven't been updated since 1993.
Oh.
And I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head in that boating bill increase either, but
there's 2 windows of time. It's like 26 to 28.
Yeah, I think they phase it in
to 30.
They phase it in over the next 5 or so years, but basically the idea there is that a lot of that money goes to the Michigan Waterways Fund, which is going to improve your boat access sites. So more and better boat access sites as a result of that. And like I said, it hasn't been updated in 20 years, 21 years. So it's pretty far behind. I mean, in pontoon boats, for example, the registration fees are criminally cheap because
they're a flat rate.
they're a flat rate and not by length like every other vessel. So
Yep.
that one's an easy one. MUCC has policy to support boat registration fee increases and parity for pontoon boats.
Yeah.
The license fee increase is a little more complicated. We do have policy to support a long-term funding mechanism for the department. So we get the idea conceptually. We get the need for something. Is this the best answer? I don't know, maybe, but it's it's facing an uphill battle. I'm not convinced that there's the time or the will to do it. So it exists though now. You can see what the department is proposing and what legislators are proposing in terms of this fee increase. As a general rule, it's roughly 40% increase on whatever license you're talking about. Some a little more, some a little less.
The fishing license is gonna go to $72 or something like that.
Not that high.
It's not.
No.
I
think it's 40.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Which 40 still is only bringing us up to like what other Great Lakes states. Our fishing stuff is criminally cheap compared to our Great Lakes neighbors. So that one fisheries needs it pretty bad too. So
yeah,
it's out there. You can read it now. You can see what they think, but generally 40%. Just, I mean, for reference, I think a deer license, not all doe licenses, some of the antlerless tags in the bill, either stay with go to the 30, but note that the director has the authority to make them cheaper for management purposes.
yeah.
Is there a chance they drop the increases and just keep the CPI?
Maybe. Listen to me, they will. Maybe. I mean, so their deer license going from 20 to 30. If deer license is kept up with inflation, they'd be like $26 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So really, for the most part, they're just slightly outpacing what inflation would have them be from the last license fee increase anyways. I've floated a few ideas to the department, and I don't know if it'd be possible. It's such a big ask. I don't think I hope so. I hope it does. From MUCC's perspective, we the department desperately needs the money. It's going to be real meaningful change, as we talked about last time. There's going to be more biologists on the ground around the state, actively in the field doing work. Those are all positive things.
And our policy is
Support long-term funding mechanism for the department, and this has a CPI adjustment in it, so that we don't have to keep coming back to the legislature. It would, in theory, be a one and done for at least the foreseeable future.
But I also, you have to understand, at least my personal perspective is like the funding then allows us to better uphold Proposal G, right? To manage on scientific.
You think so?
Right. Because more biologists, more field techs, more people in there feeding the information to the management.
More data, more research projects.
Yeah.
But it's not even that. It can be more access sites, more state game areas, more parking lots at your state game areas. But it could be any number of things that would actively benefit Michigan's hunters.
It just allows opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean the department, as we talked about last week, they're one of the few departments that doesn't get a significant general fund investment, and when they do, it's usually a one-time investment for a thing.
Random thing. Yeah.
So people think like my tax dollars are going to this. They're not. They're really not. The department is almost entirely funded by license sales. License sales are declining, plus their cost of business is going up with inflation, plus their cost of business is going up with state mandated union raises. Yep. And now I'm not arguing government is necessarily the most efficient thing in the world, because it is not. But the problems associated with the department budget are more than just normal government bloat and inefficiency. There are very real reasons why it is actually not the department's fault that their budget is the way that it is. So you basically have a couple options. You stick with the user pay system, which is what is being proposed here, where Michigan's hunters, anglers, and trappers front the cost associated with managing our game species, and we continue to have the argument that we're the ones paying for it, and we get that actually does that directly. It is a straight line to influence in the legislature when we go there and say, we're the ones that pay for this.
Yeah.
This is how we want to do things. And we get a lot of grace because of that.
which has been a huge talking point in the past.
Yeah, because the other option is you get away from a user pay system. Maybe you do have tax dollars go for it. Maybe non-consumptive users are charged to use public land or
Kayak
charged,
permits or mountain biking
whatever it
permits,
is,
these
whatever
other things.
non-consumptive pay system that you want. And we don't have policy on this part of it, but ultimately when you have that discussion, a lot of people will get to the conclusion of that and go, well, we don't want those people to have a vote. And whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but it's the real conclusion to that debate is more user
People,
pay or everybody pay. And if users pay, that gives you a lot of grace with the legislature when you're left to do things the way you are. And I'll finish this part with this. The governor has since the boating ban has been pretty content to just let the conservation community self-govern. She's dictated a few rules, right? There hasn't been a ton of expansion of opportunity, but there really hasn't been a significant restriction of opportunity, at least not top down from the governor down. She has been content to leave us alone.
Yeah.
As long as our problems aren't getting so big that they're getting to her desk, we have been able to self-govern through the commission, through the department, through stakeholder groups, and do what we want. It's not always been great. We still lose some. The commission or the department may still do things we don't want. But she's not mandating these things top down. So that's when we sue them. Yes. We are not a litigious folk, trust me. But it has been known to happen.
We don't take that lightly.
So yeah, I mean, basically that's what you're looking at. Do you want a true user pay system like we have now, and where we being trappers, hunters, and anglers continue to bear the brunt of funding management? Or do you want a different model? Because we're kind of getting to that point. We're not quite there yet where like the department's going to run out of money, but we're getting to that point. So
wasn't there a shooting range permit thing that was in that
so
bill
there's
too?
a part of that bill that would give the department authority to charge daily use for shooting ranges. Some shooting ranges currently are owned by Wildlife Division. Some are owned by parks. I can't remember which gets to charge. I think the ones that are owned by parks get to charge currently.
Yeah, like Bald Mountain and
so
Island
basically
Lake.
the idea though is the department wants to be able to charge some small user fee. Some people would say that like they're charging for access to your Second Amendment rights. I mean, yeah, I guess at face value that's kind of true, but at the same time, they make some pretty damn nice ranges.
Well, Rose Lake is pretty sweet.
Yeah, or the Supply Road one in Kalkaska County, South Boardman. I shoot there sometimes. It's by my dad's house. It's a really nice range, but like at that one on Supply Road, they stopped putting up plywood backstops because they don't want to pay for it anymore.
Yeah.
So like these ranges cost money. They're nice ranges. They're nice facilities. And so some small user thing will just
enhance.
You can view it as paying to access your Second Amendment rights, but you can also view it as paying to have nice facilities to exercise your Second Amendment rights. So
yeah,
that is in those bills. In the license fee increase bill. Again, I'm not convinced that they're going to go anywhere. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. MUCC and a lot of other stakeholders, basically every other hunting, angling, and trapping group in the state at a statewide level anyways, and a handful of regional ones, sent a letter to legislators a week or two ago. And again, it didn't endorse necessarily the specific license fee increase, but it was an endorsement of the need and the concept behind some permanent funding mechanism.
Yeah. So lame duck.
That's lame duck in a nutshell.
So
we'll know more the next time you hear from me, lame duck. Next time you hear the podcast, the legislature will be done. We can have a little more of a wrap up. If I'm betting, I don't think in the conservation world a ton happens. It will be gun control, if anything. Maybe the recreation passport opt out. Maybe. That seems like if they get 56, that's something that'll pass.
You want to talk about that? I don't know how much we got into that.
Rec passport opt out is simply currently your recreation passport when you renew your registration. Check a box, pay the extra money.
That's opt in right now.
Opt in, yeah. You get your little sticker with the little P so you can use your rec passport for certain Parks Division owned things, the state game areas, whatever. This bill would change it to an opt out. So when you get your registration, if your registration's $200, which is asinine. My registration for my truck's like over $200. It's insane. Anyways, so you get your registration, let's say it's $200. Your number on your thing would actually be 210. And your little registration thing would say this is for your vehicle registration and for access to Michigan state parks and recreation areas. And then below that would be a little box that says, I don't want to go to the parks. and then they take that money off and you pay the lesser amount. So just when you get your registration, you by default would be opted into the program. They estimate it could raise up to $17 million more. Number's a little smaller now because there's a couple kind of bills that I think that they had to do to cut a deal to get the bill to move. One of them changes the formula a little bit, so there's kind of like I don't know if it's technically a grant program, but I'm going to call it a grant program for lack of a better word, that allows for some money to be sent to local municipalities for recreation projects. So
is there any concern there with the increased population or increased demand of those? Like, if we're going to raise $17 million in fees, there's going to be more people using it, would be my guess. Is there any risk to overpopulation there?
Like overpopulating?
I'm thinking of like
overuse.
Overuse.
To have to limit to where now you have to draw a permit to go hike Sleeping Bear.
No,
Sand
I don't think
like
that. I mean, our state parks book every year. I mean, I would say no, because we already are at capacity ever since COVID, especially. But even before then, they were booking up fast.
Well, there's a handful more parks this year that'll be closed for renovations because there's a bunch of
we
shower
had
buildings.
Collins State Parks, but this is the type of stuff that it would fund too. Is this money would fund a lot of capital improvement projects, just a huge backlog. Like, I think the director in his very first presentation on this way back in like February, he said, we have world-class parks, but we don't have world-class funding, and we don't have world-class facilities because we don't have world-class funding. So this would fill a lot of that backlog, provide some local recreation things. And then the other bill that kind of comes along with it now is it exempts veterans, honorably discharged veterans and active duty military from needing a park pass. There will be some mechanism created where you have your credentials and you get a little sticker or a little thing to hang in your car. That gets you into parks for free. So that'll be exempted. And that's kind of the rec passport bill. It's been a slog to get here. The original version of the bill I didn't think was particularly great because there was no way to just easily opt out. You had to mail in a refund form. And that was pretty burdensome on the consumer.
Yeah.
But they fixed that. It's been subbed out. So
do we have policy on this rec passport?
Yeah, we support the rec passport opt out. So we've done a call to action on it in the spring, sent a few hundred emails to legislators. I've put in cards and committees on it. I don't think we've testified on it because there really hasn't been a need to this point. But no, we support the rec passport opt out. We have policy supporting it. And like I said, just to steal it from the director, we have world-class parks and we don't have world-class funding. So
all right.
And one more thing about the commission.
Yes, so the December commission meeting will have passed by the time you hear this. There's no orders for information or for action. It will also, from the sounds of it, be Chairman Tom Baird's last meeting with the commission. He has announced that he did not seek reappointment and will be leaving the commission after this meeting. So, we wish Tom farewell, wish him good fortune as he, goes back, spend more time with his family and enjoy retirement, hopefully. So,
and there's open seats as well.
Yeah, so that'll be technically 3 open vacancies. So Tom Baird and Commissioner Dave Kozad, their terms both expire at the end of the year. Now, that being said, they could choose to stay on if they wanted to until their appointment is filled. I think appointments are going to come pretty promptly. I don't think they're going to drag it out too long for some of them. The other vacancy is from when Commissioner Robin Clark resigned late in August, maybe late summer.
Yeah.
In summer. So technically there will be 3 vacancies. We'll see if Commissioner Kozad, maybe he wants to, maybe he doesn't, but maybe we'll see if he gets reappointed. But there will be at least 2 vacancies for sure. And we'll see who gets filled with those.
And we also sent a recommended type of person to be on the commission to the governor.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. Our board, so I crafted a policy and the board approved it. And it's kind of a semi-objective set of criteria for who we would like to see on the board. Or on the commission, excuse me. And it's things like, they're a member of a conservation organization, whether it's MUCC.
Regular license holders.
Or, whether it's MUCC or some other group. Maybe they worked in the department or worked in conservation. Yeah, they buy hunting or fishing licenses. There's no history of them working with our favorite people, PETA, or anything like that. And so it's nothing like earth-shattering, groundbreaking. The other thing we did in that letter is we offered to the governor and to the department, to help you vet these candidates. And they've actually called and asked what we thought about a couple people as a result of this. So
there you go.
Yeah, it seems to be having its intended effect. We're not necessarily looking to be obstructive in this with this letter. We're more trying to add to the process. And so We've provided feedback on a handful of people, and we'll see if they take that feedback to heart or not. But in the future, we're going to seek out, and recommend and encourage qualified candidates to apply. So that's something we'll be doing in the future. And NRC adjacent, our Coyote lawsuit, there's an update on that. So a couple weeks before you hear this, we have submitted our final briefing to the judge, along with the trapper's final briefing. So the last paperwork transfer is over. It is now entirely in the hands of the judge. She can rule from the briefs. She can order oral arguments. The choice is up to her. I don't know what she will do. I don't know a timeline. But the final thing has been filed. And then actually the other lawsuit we're involved in, the consent decree. So Michigan United Conservation Clubs is involved with, or is a board member of the Coalition to Protect Michigan Resources, who sued to block it and entry into the consent decree. Oral arguments are actually December 10th tomorrow in Cincinnati on that. Basically, our argument is, I think we talked about it a few podcasts ago, the judge, the department, the tribes kind of ignored biological evidence when they entered into this decree that the gill nets that they're allowing in places they haven't been in a long time could really negatively hurt the fishery. So that's oral arguments tomorrow. And that's the policy update. I actually think I went way longer than Tyler had planned.
No.
What about a quick recap of the Conservation Policy Board meeting we just had last weekend?
Yeah, policy board happened. 7 of 9 resolutions got sent on to convention. There will be 11 resolutions to tackle at convention now. They range from, some kind of more philosophical, high-level conservation versus preservation things. So again, picking on PETA, where they don't want anything killed. We just kind of generally would support conservation management, management through hunting, things like that. Oh, and it goes all the way. I mean, there's going to be a spearfishing resolution. There's going to be earn a second buck. One member wants to eliminate mandatory hunter's orange. Another member wants to.
That's in a very specific type of hunting.
There's 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's 2 resolutions. There's the one from Pat, our friend Pat, which is to eliminate mandatory hunter's orange in areas where there is no firearm hunting allowed, period.
So only bow, there's certain parks, there's certain areas that have archery only.
Correct. And so there's that one, and then another gentleman wants to eliminate hunter's orange completely, the mandatory hunter's orange rule completely.
Huh.
So those are a couple. There's one about forest management, particular in the UP and hemlock cedar. Yeah. So there will be 11 resolutions to tackle at convention. Oh, one of them is about mandatory NRC education, creating kind of an educational program for commissioners to take in their first year to maybe brush them up on the species and management practices of things that maybe they don't participate in. So yeah, you can, that should all be updated on the policy board website, at least to the effect that you can read what the resolutions will look like at convention. They may be in a different order, shuffled around. I got to go grammar check them and all that, but you can at least read the content that should be on our policy board website. So mucc.org.
All right. So how about this transition? Speaking of convention, convention is slated for March 7th, 8th, and 9th at Treetops in Gaylord, Michigan. Still time to be a part of that. All members are welcome. Individual members get an individual member survey ahead of time. The individual member delegates carry those votes on their behalf.
Yeah, that'll probably come right after the new year.
So
I don't remember when I normally send it.
If you want to weigh in and review these things and have your voice heard at our policy setting process, join MUCC now so you can. We'll see you at convention. Hopefully.
That's not a great transition.
That was a great transition.
That was boring.
Speaking of, that's always a great transition.
Speaking of convention.
Well, speaking of
convention.
A big thank you to one of MUCC's newest partners, GK World Championship Calls. As a proud 100% Michigan-based company, GK has built a reputation for delivering customer service that is second to none. With some of the most accomplished callers in the world, they have been successful in winning every major title in the goose calling circuit. GK is also proud to be a sponsor of numerous hunting organizations all over North America that make it a priority to get the young men and women involved in the great sport of waterfowling. They strive to educate the youth on the importance of conservation, safety, and respect for the sport. MUCC members receive 20% off their order with our exclusive discount code found in your MUCC member portal.
GK is coming to camp next year, right?
Yep. They're going to come down and do calling classes for the students and
that's
give away some calls.
freaking sweet.
Is your kid gonna go next year? She's not old enough.
She's only 6.
Okay.
That is sweet. I can also tell you there's not an amount of money on this earth you could pay me to go to that camp and have those little kids running around with goose calls all day.
Oh yeah.
The counselors are gonna have to have earplugs.
Yeah, so we need an earplug sponsor.
Yup.
Okay. Yeah.
We should reach out to Decibels. That's what I
was just
wear.
about to say that.
But
Auto Pro.
Auto Pros.
that sounds. Oh yeah, Auto Pro. Yeah. Auto Pro already sends us stuff. So Auto Pro, we'll get some
Yep.
Auto Pros down
Auto
for the
Pro
counselors.
Impulse.
That sounds miserable.
Oh yeah.
I volunteered field day at my wife's school, my wife's kindergarten class, my daughter's kindergarten class last year, and like hour 2, I was done. I'm not doing it this year.
Yep.
Just 100,000 screaming children, and then give them goose calls.
Shannon said they get 1 hour per day to have the goose
Then they're
call.
gonna lock
And then
them
they
up.
gotta
They're
give
gonna
them
lock.
back.
Yeah,
Yep. She's like, I can't
You gotta
handle it.
control
Biometric
access on those.
locks.
Yeah, can't deal with it.
That's what the gun safes are for.
More
They're-
protected
they're
than
gonna
Fort
hold
Knox.
goose calls instead of guns.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
All right, so we got some seasons still.
You want a
happening.
good? You want to wait? You got to do a good transition.
Speaking
Speaking of geese,
Yeah.
has anyone shot any more deer?
Nope.
Nope.
But the waterfowl seasons are closed as of recording this. They closed yesterday, the 8th, I think, or the December 8th. Most of them didn't. Well, at least the south zone did. The north and middle zone closed earlier this month, but waterfowl seasons are closed as of this. And by the time you're hearing it, there are some late season splits coming up for goose and duck. So keep your eyes on the regs. The goose splits are actually middle zone goose is still open until December 20th. South zone goose will open December 28th through January 5th, and then again in February. And then your duck season's split in November. That one's closed. On December 14th and 15th, when this drops, it'll be your last day to go duck hunting in middle zone. And then there's a split 28th and 29th for the south zone. So if you're going to go shoot some more waterfowl, you got to watch those dates and those seasons.
Where can you find all those dates, Steve?
In the Waterfowl Digest or also in our calendar,
There you go.
which should be in your mailbox
Speaking of-
already. And so our MUCC calendar dropped, and it's on the screen now. If you're watching on YouTube, you have our beautiful calendar here in front of me. It's got all of your season openers, closers. It's got application periods. It's got all the things you need.
Not
to,
all of them, but a lot of them.
A lot of them. It's got your show dates, so your outdoor shows, Outdoor Rama,
Yep.
Fishing Show, Ultimate Sports Show in Grand Rapids. It's got the NRC meeting dates. It's got our convention dates. So it is the perfect gift for an outdoors man or woman, or just to keep you yourself on track for your outdoor seasons and pursuits. And if you donate to MUCC when you get this calendar, you can get it on our store at mucc.org and click the store button. Or you can also, if you got one in the mail, send back your donation and you'll get a nifty little gift. We've got MUCC branded knives. So it's got our logo. It's got Conserve, Protect, Defend on it. So with a $50 donation, you get your knife, your commemorative knife. With a $100 donation, you get our awesome cooler, our logoed cooler we have on screen now. So for all of our YouTube watchers, you'll see this sweet cooler. Keep all of your stuff cold or hot if you're traveling with hot dishes. And then also for $125, you get both. So great way to support conservation, support MUCC, and get some cool gifts that you can utilize throughout the year.
We did the best we could for season dates and everything. The commission could change something. It's not our fault if they do. We did the best with the information that we had.
Well, if you come see us at the outdoor shows, you can have a chance to pick one up there too as well. But moving on to other seasons, right now as we record this, the muzzleloading season is open.
Air quotes, muzzleloader.
Muzzleloader in the air quotes. New this year is the Zone 2, allowing
any legal weapon in Zone 2.
any legal firearm in Zone 2. So your straight wall cartridges, your shotguns are legal this year. It was that way last year in Zone 3, but they've expanded it to the entire
It's
lower.
not just straight wall up there.
Oh, it's
Any gun that's
legal.
legal during regular firearm season.
Yeah, so if you're below the limited firearm, you have to still follow
Yeah.
that rule. But if you're up north, you can use any legal firearm. Same in the southern half of the lower. Still abide by the limited firearm laws or anything like that. But rifle season round 2, basically.
It's been pretty slow for me since I got that buck.
Have you been seeing much?
I saw 12 deer yesterday morning. Actually, it was the closest I've ever had a wild
Well,
deer.
the harvest rates have jumped too. If you look at even from the 1st of December till today when we're recording, they've harvested like 7,000 does and it's been $3,000 or something like that. So the harvest rates have really jumped up in the antlerless harvest, which is a good thing to help control the
It's a
population.
good thing in places, in pockets.
Yep.
There are
Yes.
places, not everywhere. Not everywhere needs a liberal doe harvest. Some places do. But no, I was hunting yesterday morning. And like I've had a lot of deer like walk under tree stands and stuff. I'm not that close, but I was sitting in a tent on a property line, and it's just a tree line. And so every now and again, I just get up or just turn around, look through the little window behind me, and I open the little window in the tent blind, and there's a deer like as far away as me and Steve, like just a few feet.
Nice.
And just the sound of like of opening the window, since it was so damn close, it heard me, and it didn't really know what it heard. It just jumped off a little bit, and I started counting. There were at least 9 deer, 8 does and fawns, and then a little not a little 4-point, it was a big 4-point. Were right behind me, and so they kind of just farted off.
My uncle is in Vernon, like out near Owasso, and he was in a ground blind in his pop up, and he had his rifle barrel kind of like leaning out the window, was leaned against the wall, and so some of it was sticking out of the blind.
Little fawn, like it.
He did, yeah. He had 2 deer walk up, and one of them licked his gun barrel.
Jeez.
And he told me, he goes, they see me mowing the lawn all the time, and they probably don't,
They know me.
Yeah, they know
They
me.
know me.
And so he told me that was a fun experience where he had a deer lick his rifle
Yeah,
barrel.
that is wild.
Yeah, but it's been slow. I mean, I haven't been hunting nearly as much since Thanksgiving, just because lame duck's been pretty busy. Buddy of mine whose property I hunt on indoor, he's killed a couple deer, but he shot 2 does the other day at his dad's place, and he's pretty excited about that because he wants me. He's still, I mean, he's a late onset hunter. I mean, he's been hunting maybe 5 years. He's approaching 50, so he is learning how to do a lot of stuff, and he wants me to come over and teach him how to process the deer himself. So I'll be going over there this week, show him how to skin and well, actually, I'm gonna drink a beer.
And just point at where to cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cut that.
yeah. And I was joking with him. I'm like, you'll get X amount of meat if I help you, and you'll get X amount more meat if you have Ashley show you how to do it.
Yeah,
Because
That's fair.
she takes her time,
that's fair.
and I just want to get it over with. So no, we're gonna go over and help him cut up his deer, show him what to do. So yeah, muzzleloader season's now. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. After muzzleloader is late antlerless, December 16th through the January 1st, and then in the limited counties, basically south of Saginaw, really.
Yeah, New Waco
You
on the
have
west
you have the extended late antlerless, which goes January 2nd to 12th. So
Yep.
still lots of time to get out there. Anyone who needs help getting does off your property, if you are in one of those overpopulated areas, shoot us an email at podcast@mucc.org, and I can come help you out.
Will ya?
Yes, I will, because now
Is your gun even sighted in?
Yes, it
Are
is.
you done tiling?
I am. We are back in the house and buttoned up, and now I have nothing else to do but stare outside at the warm weather we have.
So now it's hunting season.
Warm weather's supposed to be 19 degrees on Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to fall off pretty quick, but today, as we record, it's 50-something degrees.
Yeah, it's really warm. Yeah, deer season. Wait, hey,
So-
you guys want to know something important? Hang on, I gotta find it's really quick. 296 days till bow season starts.
October 1st.
October 1st, 296 days.
Almost there.
That's a good countdown.
Actually, once deer season ends, I turn my attention to turkey camp.
we're going to start ice fishing this winter. Well, my 7-year-old, really wants to try
There's
ice fishing.
ice. My dad gave me a truckload of ice fishing gear.
Well, if you don't want it, you know where to find me.
Well, I want it,
Yeah.
but the problem is there's no ice.
It will be.
We'll find
We'll
ice.
have ice.
We'll get out.
Well, he gave it all to me and then found the lake right by his house is just filled with jumbos.
So I got a big insulated Eskimo shanty. So we need to do on the ice
Yep.
podcast edition.
Well, I was promised
We
that
can go
we were
down to
going to
camp.
record a podcast in your deer blind shooting deer, but now you're
there's
like,
still time.
oh, I'm done hunting. And Steve's, I'm not hunting.
I'm trying to hunt.
Well, let's book a Let's do
Let's
the
do it.
next podcast at your.
I got the
in your-
power bank now. We could
Let's
actually-
do the
we could
next
power it.
podcast from your deer blind.
Yeah, we could do that.
We need
We'll
to
reco-
put some windows in it.
We'll
so-
record it
Yeah,
next
yeah,
week.
we do.
We'll record it next week, Monday or Tuesday, from your deer blind.
Monday's the ugliest Christmas sweater party.
Okay,
You
so we'll
can't
do it
Monday.
Yeah, why not? You'll actually be in town.
Yeah,
That's true.
And this ugly Christmas sweater party, we're just wearing them to work.
I'm gonna win. I have the best.
I have a
ugly
good one.
Christmas sweater party.
So let's just go do that on Monday. I'm executive and directing us.
All right. I'm in.
Follow me.
Yeah.
I'll win the Christmas sweater party, and then we'll go record a podcast.
So what? Okay, we got to set some ground rules though. Who gets to shoot first?
Me,
Steve can shoot.
Why do you get to shoot first?
because you all have deer.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault either.
Well,
We'll draw straws then.
it's between you two. I'm good.
3's enough for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 out of the 5 deer I've shot in my life were shot in the last 2 months.
It's me. It's the giving time of year. You're
It
supposed
comes
to be,
out on my
You're
side.
supposed to be charitable.
I'm gonna give it. That's the whole thing. I'm trying to shoot a deer for my sister who just had a baby.
Well, I'll shoot first.
Did you just have a baby?
No, I can't have any more kids. I took care of that.
Nip that in the bud.
Yeah, no.
We'll see. If it comes out on my side, I get it. If it comes out on your side, maybe I let you shoot. I've been practicing aiming left-handed so that I don't have to turn. I can just shoot.
Just switch shoulders and shoot.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. We'll see. Flip a coin.
The first time I ever tried doing that, you're not gonna be able to see it, most people, because you don't watch on YouTube. But I tried to put my head all the way.
You switched out. You
I
tried.
tried to go all the way over, not even just instinctively trying to get my right eye on the scope. And then I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I just closed my right eye and it was fine.
Well,
anyways, deer season. Deer. Venison.
Shoot more deer.
Oh,
All right.
So many brats.
A little housekeeping and some MUCC updates.
Definitely.
So,
we don't have any housekeeping, do we?
I've got one or two. First one, congratulations to Robert Green. He was the winner of our Alan Crater book giveaway. So
Heck yeah.
congrats to him.
Outside in Shorts, and there's a season for everything.
That
Two
was a
great
fun
books
For Everything
by
There's a Season.
our for everything there's a season. It's two great books.
Yep. So those were mailed this morning. He should receive them soon. So congratulations to him. The other thing we have to congratulate on is Tiffany McCabe won our MUCC buck poll. So
There
she
we go.
received a hat and a decal for her. I don't remember if it was an 8-point or a 10-point. But congratulations to both of them. They're both winning some MUCC merch and books. And then our member survey winner will be announced soon. And they
Yep.
will go home with the AR-15 prize package.
Congratulations, winners.
Yep.
I hope I win the AR.
So if you want a chance to get in on our giveaways, winning anything that we're doing, make sure to follow us on all social medias and join as a member too.
Yep.
Social media is plural.
Social media platforms.
Media.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I got to add a word in there. Platforms.
All right. You want to get into some of the end of year giving? We talked a little bit about the calendar. If you want to get into that anymore. Or
Yeah,
just end of year
definitely.
giving.
So as this time of year, we like to just recap and make sure everybody knows about all the good work we've been doing on their behalf. Even if you're a member or not, if you're not a member, you can always throw a few bucks our way during this time of year and donate to our mission. We've had some really cool things happen throughout the year. So we're just going to run through the 4 pillars: advocacy, habitat, education, and communications. That's kind of what we stand on and how we do our work. So this year for our advocacy, we tracked over 200 different bills that we were keeping an eye on and making sure that if and how they affect the outdoors men and women, and whether or not we have policy on them dictates some of the things that we engage on. But we did engage on over 50 bills. So that's either testimony, submitting a comment card, working with legislature.
That's pretty lame duck too. So that number's only going to grow, but that's just the numbers I had available at the time.
Yep. So that is what we're doing here in Lansing every day. Some of the major victories that we accomplished this year was updating the mentored hunting license to expand and include individuals with special needs. So if you didn't hear that information, the youth mentor license is now the mentored hunting license, which allows people with special needs to hunt on it in perpetuity and not age out at the age of 9, when they would then either have to take hunter safety or utilize the apprentice tag for 2 years in between there. So huge victory for that. Congrats to all the supporters and everyone who helped weigh in on that. And good luck to all those hunters that are able to now get out there and hunt on that license. Secondly, we got the increased funding for Sportsmen's Against Hunger. At the time of our engagement, that line item had been zeroed out in the state budget, and we were able to get $500,000 back into the budget to help support the Hunter Sportsmen's Against Hunter program, which is a venison donation program.
550. Don't short us.
550. There you go. 550K to help with that program, so people who are food insecure can utilize that donated venison.
I want to give the DNR a big shout out on that one, their legislative team in particular. So that was a last minute negotiation for that funding, and the way that they worded the language is very clever and very good. And basically it's for refrigerated trailer. First of all, it goes, they don't have to spend it. The money rolls over until 2029. So we don't have to keep going back for that money. It's appropriated for the next 4 years. Second of all, it's for refrigerated trailers. And if they only spend $200,000 on refrigerated trailers, they can roll that money into disease testing and costs associated with that. So those are some newer parts of the program, but they crafted the language on that very well, in an 11th hour thing. So shout out to our legislative team. They did a really good job on that one.
And then, as you already heard earlier, we have the 2 lawsuits that we're currently in right now against the NRC and the consent decree. So that was all kind of some big moving parts this year. And then lastly, we served on both the Upper and Lower Peninsula DMI groups, the Deer Management Initiative work groups, correct?
Yeah, it sounds like I'm fixing to be on the next one too. Whatever the new iteration is, I actually have a meeting
Yep.
next week.
So speaking on behalf of all the stakeholders and helping craft some suggestions and opportunities, and so we served on both Upper and Lower Peninsula DMI work groups. So advocacy and policy is always rolling here at MUCC. So if you are concerned with protecting your right to hunt, fish, trap, shoot, and recreate, join or donate on behalf of our legal team and our lobbyist. Justin's a dirty lobbyist, but he gets stuff done. So always a good reason to help donate and fund the mission. Moving on to Habitat and our OTG, or on the ground program, we did 26 different projects this year around the state of Michigan, everywhere from the UP to Southwest to Southeast to Central Michigan. We go all over to get hands-on with conservation and help improve our habitat and state and public lands. We had 6 OTG junior programs, which was really cool. So that's a grant funded role where we provide the busing. We take middle school and high school students out to do projects. And then they also get to learn a fun outdoor skill like compass navigation and orienteering, or archery, something cool as well. We improved over 370 acres. We had over 635 volunteers, and cumulatively that's over 2,600 volunteer hours that we put into our public lands and habitat improvement. In 2024, we also surpassed the 4,000 acre mark for statewide improvements, and that's been going on since 2013 when OTG was founded. And so get on, get involved. If you use public land in any fashion, this is a great program to come out and get hands-on with conservation, and also to help us continue to fund that program, donate to MUCC. Looking at education, which is one of our more important pillars, advocacy and education are the two of the biggest things we stand on. We had 255 campers at our camp this summer in Chelsea, Michigan, in the Waterloo State Rec area at Cedar Lake. They came from 34 different counties around the state of Michigan. We ran 7 weeks of camp. We graduated 99 new hunter safety graduates. We replaced 2 different roofs on cabins. Huge shout out to Southeast Michigan Conservation Club, who donated one of the roofs as well, and to our Camp Facilities Committee, who helped replace the other one. We also hosted 9 young people back in September at the annual youth pheasant hunt we do. Over 15,000 students receive our Tracks magazine. And then we hosted our 2nd annual conservation cohort, and we also co-hosted the 2nd annual women's hunter safety course as well. So big shout out to all our partners, NWTF, and all of those who helped us do the women's hunter safety. So lots of cool stuff happening in education. Again, we're working year round to help educate the next generation of conservation stewards and get new hunters, hooked on adult onset hunting syndrome.
Hooked on phonics.
So keep supporting MUCC so we can continue to educate and develop that next generation. With communications, we published, 4 different issues of Michigan Outdoors Magazine this year. So all of our members are receiving that. We had a new website launch this year. The podcast launched this year. We've got lots of new website traffic.
Podcast.
Shout out podcast, new website, new podcast, more social media followers, the new Michigan Outdoors Pod Instagram page, and then just continuing to produce our bi-weekly Conservation Insider. So that's basically a free membership with MUCC. You stay up to date on everything that we're doing. Every 2 weeks, you're going to get an email from Tyler and just helping you understand all the things that we're working on and the ways that you can get involved. So lots of great things that we have done over the year. So we need your support to continue to do those and continue to grow the organization. So as you're looking around to who to donate to this giving time of year, make sure to include MUCC in your year-end giving. And also keep an eye out in your mailboxes. We're actually sending out our year-end appeal this week, early next week, to where you'll have a full recap of all this stuff that we're up to and all the great ways that we help unite citizens to conserve, protect, and enhance Michigan's natural resources and outdoor heritage. So thank you to all of our members. Thank you to all our supporters, and continue to help fund the mission.
And we got one more thing that's a pretty big item for us. This is going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I think I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so MUCC has undertaken kind of one of our biggest fundraising initiatives that we've done in a long time. We want to send a lucky winner and a guest down to New Orleans for the big game in February. So we have a way for you to go down to Louisiana and get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. You'll get 3 nights hotel stay, $1,500 flight voucher. You're going to have a gifting experience. You're going to be able to have the Lombardi Trophy on site at one of the lounges, and there's some pre-game events you get to choose from. So a variety of different events like brews with a broadcaster and some pre-event things where you're going to have an amazing experience. It's an awesome weekend. Tickets are only $100. So in the grand scheme of things, this package is well worth over 20 grand in the tickets and the hotels and the flights and all the experiences you're going to experience. So MUCC wants to send a lucky winner down to the big game. And so you can get tickets at mucc.org/Super Bowl and get your tickets there. There are going to be some locations selling tickets as well around the state. Center Shot Gun Range and Door. We're looking at some other opportunities around the state, so you can go in and pick those tickets up as well. But check the website for where those places are, or get them online at our store, and you can have a chance to go down to the Super Bowl. So for supporting conservation, for $100,
$100.
that, again, for all the things we just recapped, for all the great work we're doing, for the $100, that you could go to the big game and have an experience of a lifetime. So this is going to be an awesome weekend. We hope everybody will participate and get their raffle tickets, and don't miss out, because it's going to be an awesome time to go see the game.
$100.
Yep. And if you see us posting about it on social media, please share it with your friends, invite others. We want to involve as many people as we can. It's a great opportunity, going to be an amazing time in New Orleans. So share, let everyone know, and buy as many tickets as you can.
And share it with anyone who, even if they're not an outdoors man or woman, if they're a sports fan, if they're a football fan, this is great for anybody who wants a chance to go down to the big game for only $100 and get all those great things.
She's just call it the Super Bowl. It's not trademarked or anything.
I don't think so.
And it sounds better.
Well, I don't want
nobody's sitting around us. Coming to my big game party.
I don't want to get dinged on anything, so we're
using the logo.
Yeah, because we bought the package. That's why
so I'm pretty sure we can say the words.
All right, so go to the Super Bowl.
$100. You could win. Could be you. Somebody's gonna win. Could be you. Probably not, but it could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Never know. You can't win if you don't
play.
Win.
Yeah, can't shoot deer from your couch. Most people can't. Tyler might. No.
Logan can.
Logan can. Logan can shoot a deer from his couch.
Well, speaking of
Logan,
the Michigan Outdoors Podcast is proud to partner with Domain Outdoor. Domain hand selects the highest quality seeds and ingredients, so you can be confident when you choose Domain, you're choosing legendary products, performance, and customer support. I personally use Comeback Kid in my food plot, which is a cold season perennial and annual mix. I've had great success with it, and I highly recommend it. MUCC members get an exclusive discount at domainoutdoor.com with promo code MUCC10 for 10% off their order. Again, that's MUCC10 for 10% off your order. With Domain Outdoor, turn your property into a domain. This is your land.
That's all she wrote for today, guys.
Get your calendar and enter to go to the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for episode 8. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon.
Later.